Hi everyone, it's Kate from the Forward Line. I am back with Sewing Bee news. I hope you enjoyed last night's episode, and for anyone in the UK, I hope you are enjoying the beginning of your long weekend. So this week on Sewing Bee, the theme, it was Music Week, and the first challenge, the technical challenge, was making and sewing a parka coat in 4.5 hours, which I thought was insane. I mean, can you imagine cutting out and actually sewing a whole coat in 4.5 hours? I think that, and there's so many details on it, I think they did an amazing job. So we've got 2 parka patterns, which I think are quite good options. Actually, nothing, interestingly, that there isn't a real traditional parka pattern out there, well, we couldn't find one. But I've got 2 really good options. So the first one is the assembly line hoodie parka coat, and if I show you the line drawing, you can see it's got loads of really lovely details. It's got a 3-piece hood, poppers down the front, a 2-piece sleeve. It's got a seam around the centre front with pockets. It's quite a relaxed fit, so it's yeah, I think it's a really great pattern, and if you're looking for something kind of close to a traditional parka, I think this is a really nice option. In terms of the sizing, it goes 8 to 26. So that was our first option. The other pattern we've got is a Simplcity pattern. It's a Mimi G one. It's the 9052. This one is really great. It's a unisex pattern, so men and women, which I think is great. And then if I show you the line drawing, you can see there's 2 versions of it. So there's a shorter one and a longer one. There's an optional, you can add an optional hood to this. It's got lots of pocket details as well, which you could add. I mean, they're optional as well. You could leave those off if you didn't want to. It's got the drawstring waist. So there's quite a lot of good stuff in this one. But yeah, there wasn't anything that I thought was kind of absolutely perfect, but we thought either of these would work quite well. So the next challenge they had, the Upcycling challenge, was that they had to turn some clothes into country and western like show outfits. Actually what they made was quite good, I thought. I really enjoyed it, and there was obviously lots of embellishment, tassels, but yeah, the outfits were actually wearable, not kind of wildly crazy. So the final challenge was they had to make an outfit inspired by Bowie. As the people hunting out the patterns, Rachel and I were a bit like, oh gosh, this could be really difficult because that could span anything he wore, such a vast range of stuff. I think we did all right this week. It was quite tricky, I'm not going to lie. I'm sure a lot of you were at home being like, oh, what pattern did they use for this? So I'm going to get started. So the first pattern, I'm going to start with the one that was, we 100% know is correct. It's Annie's. She made this gorgeous, it was like a tailored jacket dress with an asymmetric hem, and she made it in this like kind of glittery, quite an interesting fabric. I was actually hunting for fabric, so for patterns, so I didn't hear what the actual like name of the fabric was, but it was quite interesting. So the pattern that we've got, and we know is right, it's the McCall's 7997. If I show you the line drawing, you can see the thing that I knew it was right is that it has 2, which I think is quite unusual, 2 darts at the waist. And this pattern does, so I'm 100% sure this is right. It's interesting, this pattern in particular seems to get used every year on Sewing Bee. It was used last year as well, and it's quite unusual. But yeah, so Annie's I know was right, so that was a good start. Next up, we have Brogan. So her dress had these big enormous sleeves, it had tassels underneath. It was a dress and a top, a skirt and a top, sorry. I saw a snapshot that it was with Vicky Sew's branding on it, so I know it was a Vicky Sew's pattern. I then went and looked through all of them. The only thing that I can think of is that she used the Vicky Sews Deborah blouse. The reason I think she used this is because of the sleeve has big pleats at the top at the head of the sleeve. This pattern has, and it had a V-neck with a seam down the middle of the top. So I basically think that she used this as a base and then changed it. So I think that is right, because I've had a real look and I don't think there is any other pattern that it could be. So it's more like a process of elimination that I think it was this pattern. Next up, Manny made use this really kind of star piece of her outfit was this oversized jacket, like a tuxedo jacket. Again, I saw the branding. It was another Vicky Sews pattern. She used the Vicky Sews Adriana blazer. It was really oversized, boxy. The only difference is that she had, you can see that this is like double-breasted. Hers actually wasn't, so she obviously tweaked it a little bit, but I was 100% sure it's this one. I could see like in the background a tiny little picture of it, so I think that one is correct. Next up we had Angela, and this one I was really worried because they showed us a preview of what was up next week, and I was really worried about finding this one. I knew it was going to be really difficult, and luckily for us it popped up on the screen so we saw which one it was. So it's the Simplcity 8769, and the reason that I looked through everything, couldn't find it, is that it's a costume pattern. So it's this amazing kind of costume coat. I thought it was a really complicated thing to make, and I thought she did a really good job in the time. I thought they were a bit critical of it. They didn't like her fabrication, but I thought it was really impressive in the time. So that one we knew was right. Then who was next? Okay, yes. So then we had Deborah, and she made this matching outfit. It was like a really quite simple pair of trousers and a sort of peplum top. The kind of, I think the thing for her that in the detail was she'd made this like ruffly ruffle thing that went over the top of it with ostrich feather attached to it, and she put ostrich feathers around the bottom of the trousers, which I thought was really interesting. So I had a look, and we thought actually that the Vogue 8815 in terms of the shape was pretty spot on. It had the peplum, it was long sleeved, quite simple shape. There's different variations, you can have it without sleeves as well, but we thought that was a really good, if that one isn't right, that was a really good option. And then trousers wise, I picked a pair that were quite simple, so the Simplcity 9376. I thought these were pretty close. They're slightly cropped, but yet they're tailored, little pockets in the side, so I thought these would be a really strong option. So next up we had Jill, and this one we really struggled with. So it looked like a sort of 1950s halter top, 1950s dress in shape, but it had this halter top with this sort of interesting sort of bib detail, almost a bit like a waistcoat top. So we concentrated on finding that detail because we thought that was kind of the core detail of the dress. So we found the Simplcity 9097. I feel like she used this for the top half and then added a gathered skirt onto the bottom. Could be wrong, but it really, when I was looking at the details of it, it had this kind of low back. I just feel like it could have been this. Again, if anyone's got any thoughts on this, let us know because we could be wrong. And then last but not least, we had Christian, who made this incredible jumpsuit with one leg was short and the other leg was long, and then it had this cape as well. So in terms of a pattern for the kind of all-in-one jumpsuit, we thought the Simplcity 8670 cosplay jumpsuit would be a really good starting point. And then he did lots of he made lots of alterations, but I think you could use that as a base and then do loads of different things with it. Yes, so that, well actually this has got quite a lot of panels in it, so this could have been, yeah, I think this was a good option. Right, that was it from us. I hope that was alright. Definitely a tricky week for us and the hunting, but yes. Also, I'm going to say that next week there won't be a video because I'm on holiday, and I looked into doing it abroad and I just thought I'm not going to be able to watch the show. It's just, yeah, it's too complicated. So yeah, apologies, there won't be a video next week, but we'll be back the week after. There will still be a blog post, so you can go and find all the patterns on there, so do not panic. Anyway, have a lovely long weekend and we'll be back soon with another video.